you guys see that the new Superman looks just like Henry Cavill?
Really?
Yeah.
Who'd they pick for him?
I thought they were switching to that one guy.
Some random guy, young kid, and he looks just like Superman.
I thought Michael
already.
B. Jordan was the next.
No, that's
Is that a joke or?
No, that's everyone's blown that one out. They're making.
I mean, he would make a good Superman.
They're making a version of Superman, and he's gonna
like
be
a multiverse.
No, it's gonna be like when Superman, the death of Superman, whenever he splits
Doomsday.
off into a bunch of all that shit. That's the version he's going to play, basically, and everyone's freaking out about it. It's like it's not. It's just like there's a different version. Like there's a different others.
Just never liked Superman.
See,
Probably because you look like Superman.
I have a quick.
Like, yeah, I
Caitlin
don't like
likes
myself
Superman,
either.
though, right? So like, Tina likes
Knight
Superman.
looks like Clark Kent.
Yeah, I don't look like Superman.
Yeah, he looks like Clark Kent.
You look like one of the original Clark Kents.
He's just a bitch-ass
he-
news reporter.
a young version of yourself, you look just like
I agree.
Superman. I mean, I remember telling people like, "Dude, we got Superman training
That's
here."
it's always sunny.
He's a
where he
bitch
goes,
and throws up all the
Yeah.
time, but we have Superman. Like,
We've got the lesser
he can
Superman.
stop bullets, he can fly, he can do all kinds of shit. The bitch can't even roll for one round
Yeah.
without throwing up.
Well, Jiu-Jitsu is kryptonite.
Yeah,
There you
that's
go.
it.
That's it.
It's a lot of people's kryptonite.
Welcome to the
Hey!
show, the premier YouTube grappling and MMA show for amateurs, by amateurs. We mainly talk about professionals. I didn't introduce you guys last time, so I apologize. To my right, Ronnie Putnam.
That's me.
In the middle, Chad Hawkins.
I
To the
am
right of
Brandon.
me, Brandon Wells. Hey, by the way, in my program where we...
Oh, no, hold on. We gotta stop this. We had to get coasters.
Yeah, no one got me one. I noticed that when you guys all had coasters and I didn't, that I was left
I
out.
only had three.
I didn't
I had
take it
three.
as an attack.
I had 3 coasters. That's all I had.
I just understood that
You
I was
guys
the
get
peon in the
coasters,
show,
but I'm good.
so that-
No,
now I
it's
gotta
a-
be gentle
It's
with
a
my
way
cup.
it's a way better joke
Oh,
that,
that's so
that
funny.
you just don't need a coaster.
Yeah, you don't
'Cause
need
you
a
could put
coaster.
it down properly.
That's right.
Anyway,
I
so
just felt like I was attacked for not getting one.
we are
They're like, "Fuck that, dude."
we are in a mailbag episode, so this is when we're lazy. But we have a bunch of good producer credits today from Austin, so I'm pretty excited for it actually.
When's
First
Austin
question.
coming on the show?
Never.
Well, okay.
That's his
That-
wording.
He was on the one time.
Yeah, he was on
It's
the
always
one
here
time.
in spirit.
That, I did like doing that. I love that house. I mean, we could do without a few people, but I really
fun,
like
though.
You know
that
what?
house.
Some of those people fucking sucked, but great time.
We're not gonna name any names.
Does your
Brandon.
That's your thing, though.
Does your jiu-jitsu ever settle into... Oh, I apologize. This is an actual serious question, so I will give it the proper respect. I forgot I put this at the top.
Gotcha.
Does your jiu-jitsu ever settle into a definable game, or is it consistent evolution of style and technique?
I think that's one of
beautifully
those. I think that's one
worded
of those.
question.
What is it, and what do you want it to be? Because a lot of times it settles into a certain spot that you have to like figure out how to expand out of. I feel like.
I agree it should be option 2, but and to be honest, I'm surprised you didn't jump. Maybe you know what? I want you to go. You expound first, and I want to
Yeah.
see if I'm right.
So yesterday, well, I don't even know what day it was. Jeremy Bird came up,
That was
and
yesterday.
well, technically it's not because we're on a anyways. But
Hold on. You were about to explain time to us.
He was. That's great.
Shit.
well,
This is
Technically,
2 weeks. 2
yeah.
weeks and a day ago.
We should just have episodes where Chad explains advanced physics.
Ooh, that'd be great.
See, that's why you should be a producer, because I've never thought of that, and now I got it. Go ahead.
so anyways, some time in the multiverse,
Right.
Jeremy Bird came up,
Mhm.
and like when we live rolled, I got the better of the exchange every time when it was just like a match.
Mhm.
But then when we went into leg locks, he tapped me probably 10 times. Starting 50-50, and he's naming all these things, and I'm like, I don't know what all that shit is.
Yeah.
Reverse Burnham Schnavitz.
But then we got into, processing the leg locks and going through it, and, it's cool because now that we've done with Steven
Mhm.
from Springfield and Caleb and, even like PSF and their George and Couch and And now Jeremy, I didn't realize how extensive Jeremy's knowledge was in the leg lock system. But it's cool that even at black belt, 10 years training, and how much I drill. I mean, anyone that knows me knows that I do drill a lot. That I still am like, feel like I don't know a lot of key parts of jiu-jitsu. So to me, I don't know how you could ever get to a place where you believe that you have gotten to the level you need to be at. But there's a lot of black belts that do.
Do you feel like there should be a higher barrier to entry to black belt or something then that you should?
I think there should be almost 2 levels. I don't know what that would be, but I definitely feel like there's a completely different black belt.
Should
There's
there be
a lot of
another belt
instructors.
before black belt?
I don't know.
Fucking silver belt or something?
But now we're getting into
Silver
karate.
comes
But-
after.
but you know, like I've met so many instructors that their knowledge in jiu-jitsu at black belt is awful. I mean, like a lot. Like, and I feel bad because to them it's like there's black belt instructors out there that go in to teach their class and it's just taught off a phone of what the affiliation makes them teach. And it's like you're a black belt running your own school in a huge city and you're going off this guide and then you're not even doing the technique correctly. Like you're missing 5 points on the technique. For me, if I was a black belt instructor and I had that association, why would you not watch the video, get your top student to come over, you drill that perfectly, and then teach that technique to your class instead of having the video while teaching it and showing it. But there's a lot of instructors that do it that way. Their technique's not there, and then they just kind of give up on their technique and exist because they get to that place.
Do you think some of those people are like people that got their black belt several years ago whenever some of these things hadn't advanced as much either, like especially the leg lock stuff? And do you think they're just teaching like old established Gracie style techniques and stuff like that?
I think a lot of times it's like you get your black belt and you're like, okay, it took me 10 years. And I hit this window a little bit for a while. You know, I got my black belt and I put so much effort into competing and winning and traveling and doing all that when I got to it, it almost felt like I wanted to be done. And there was like a 6-month window there where I was like kind of burnt out and I was like, if this is the beginning, like I'm already exhausted. But then, like, I had to reframe my mind and be like, no, I can't do that because I'm going to fall behind. So then I had to find a new way to actually make it enjoyable, and that's why we started doing the filming stuff, and that's why we started exploring the leg lock and the no-gi, and it kind of, like, rejuvenated me as far as as an instructor.
I think that one of the interesting things, and I actually truly believe this, I asked Sabine one time, I said, would you rather have a small school where you had a bunch of champions, or would you rather own we're not going to say the name, Chad, franchise school and be paid $200,000 a year? Yeah. And she would say, I would rather be poor and have champions. And I think that's her mindset of being an artist.
I agree with that.
I think jiu-jitsu to some people is an art. And
100%. That's what I told, was it you the other day? I thought I told someone that the other day.
I think some people view it as a something like a technique book.
Well,
like,
to me,
I
it's
just
like
learn it. It's a Bible, and that's how I do it.
you can teach everybody the basic arm bar, do grips, foot in the hip, turn the angle. You can teach everybody that, but then how they execute it, that's the art. How they change it to theirs, how they make it their own.
I
That's
like
where
that.
the art comes in, to me.
That's a great way to say that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just think it's just you're completely a different mindset. I mean,
It
that's
sucks
honestly what
because it is such a balance between you want to pay your bills and you want to, it's anybody that runs a business wants to make money so that they, it's like,
You want to be successful.
well, you want to be successful and you want your family. I mean, like if your daughter wants to do something or you want to do a vacation, like you don't want to just be living completely poor and you can't do anything for your family, but you're giving everything to your art. You have to find a way to balance your family and balance your job. That's the hardest part. But if money didn't matter, and I thought I was saying you, but I was telling someone this the other day, but like I would definitely love to see what I could create out of people if it was like you can only have these 10 or 20 people that want to be there. And to
I
see
feel like
where
you've been talking about something like that for years, honestly. About like getting a house and only having 10 people that they have to sign.
Yeah, if it became where like this app took off and became successful, like I would love to have like the app headquarters, the gym, and then some type of thing where it's like you have 10 people that have to train 8 hours a day, and if they don't do that, they're out. Because I would like to see what they would do.
I'm only laughing because inside I'm picturing you in the Righteous Gemstones season 2, about that you make a cult, like what is that called? A Christian power team? Like you
Oh,
guys
yeah.
you guys go around and like lift really heavy things.
Ripping phone
But
books.
Yeah.
but then they put you through a crucible where you have to carry a 500-pound cross, like was it like 10 feet or something like
Yeah.
that, as much as Jesus did.
Yeah.
And then you have to do that, or otherwise you are no longer the alpha.
Well, his cross didn't weigh 500 pounds, did it?
No.
There was a
Okay.
guy in the UFC.
I was like, damn, there ain't no way he would have made that trip.
There was a guy in the early UFC.
But if he did, he definitely's God. Because
Carried a
to
cross?
be
Yeah,
lashed
and he
and carry a
Was it chemo?
500 pound cross would
Yeah.
be.
Yeah, he carried that big ass cross out there, then he'd be exhausted and get in there and lose.
Man, could you imagine if we could transport ourselves back to the old school days of UFC? We'd make some monsters, right?
Yeah. It's kind of like saying if I could go back down to white belt, I could win everything.
And then you feel bad when you lose. That's where I'm at. You
Right,
know, like I'm always like,
right,
I'll go to the
right,
women's
come on,
division, but then when you lose,
White belts are on steroids too. This fucker's carrying a cross to the ring. Do you think starting on the knees or knee walking?
well, hold on, Ronnie didn't give his horse.
Oh,
so
apologize.
yeah, basically, I agree. It should always be evolving. But one thing that, and this is why I'm surprised Chad didn't say this, is your beginning route. You kind of want to be good at one thing, especially if you want to be competitive.
that's
And that gets you up. I would say. Now I said that this is what you would say.
Yeah,
You would say,
what change would that be, Chad? What level?
What?
What level do you have to start being multifaceted?
I feel like purple or brown is the switch.
All right, I got it. At least got that.
Yeah, fuck.
But I, when you are at the white blue belt level, you need to be good at 1 to 2 different things, maybe 1 to 2 different series, and
Yeah.
just get really good at getting there, and that's it.
That's
But-
what I do with my path for sure, and I felt like it was good. Like you do the X pass one way, and then you do a certain pass the other way, and like
Yeah.
instead of 50-50 and being half
Yeah, I
as
don't
good.
X pass both ways. I X pass to the left and then I knee slice to the right or whatever.
But then at brown belt, when it's like, okay, I've done 10,000 X passes, I could start exploring a little bit on the other side. I feel like is okay to do.
Mhm.
But yeah, I think white and blue belt, whatever it is, pick the 3 things and
Mhm.
just do that.
get really good at those few things. Yeah. All right, now I'm good.
Oh, you're good.
I
Do you-
concede my
no,
time.
No, I messed up that
That's
time. My
guilty.
fault. Do you think starting on your knees or knee walking has any benefits?
No.
Should you? All right. Go.
Like starting a roll on your knees?
Yeah. So this is
I mean, if you
actually.
don't have enough room to do takedowns, I have one mat. So
I don't have.
But I don't think you need to start on your knees. You could pick a position. I think it's so weird when both people start on their knees
well,
or
I make
back
them
to back.
start one standing and one in open guard.
Yeah, he's. I
That's
don't know.
If you let me
Yeah,
explain.
see, that's, well,
what
Brandon's
the fuck I was
Sorry.
trying to explain.
Sorry.
Then I will give you the
Bang, here's
answer
the bus.
to
Yay.
not.
Come on, Brandon.
Sorry.
It's amazing. So this guy said it's an actual Japanese jiu-jitsu principle to start on your knees. I didn't know that. They actually have the name for it. I know Danaher would be
Sounds
here
like they need to
in
change
a
their
minute.
heritage.
He said the reason why he believes it is because it teaches you how to scramble. I don't see that.
No.
I don't understand it. I think starting on the knees is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. But it was a question, so
I watched
I mean,
Yeah.
sometimes like we roll once, you tap me, there's still a minute left in the round. I'll just start on my knees and slap hands with you.
Yeah,
and
but
we'll go.
normally what happens is one person picks a position right after
one
that.
person,
We don't
yeah,
both
sits
stay on
down.
our knees.
Right.
And I've
Someone will
seen
sit,
where
for
both
sure.
people started on their knees before,
And
and
they
then the
just
guy
shuffle
goes
at each
no,
other?
the
That's
guy goes
the-
forward, and then he blew the guy's knee out because
that's the knee walking. That's what they're actually talking about. Is there's a position where you guys start on your knees and you walk towards each other.
Yeah, I think that's so dangerous.
It just
I think that's
seems-
just as dangerous as wrestling.
Why
Like,
don't you just sit a guard
Mhm.
and have one person play open guard or whatever, standing?
yeah, that's just one thing that just because I've seen the injury happen before.
just-
like literally
They
the
just get
guy.
pushed
Just
over
put
their
this
knees
question
buckle?
in here so you guys could shit on knee walking. That was the only reason
Yeah,
I
I
put it in. Yeah,
I
mean,
think
Good.
that's silly.
It's down.
To me, if you want to work scrambling, it's easy. You just start in a scramble position and then say no submissions, and then whenever it settles,
Yeah,
you start over.
you start
And
with
you work
like
on your
turtle
scrambling.
position without the seatbelt.
Yeah,
or
you
something.
start that, or you start side control with a good frame and a knee in, and then you just say, hey, you got to get somewhere and no submissions, and like there's ways to train scrambling better.
If I
than-
started on my knees, I would go to turtle immediately and be like, all right, sweet. I just stopped all this movement so I can get to turtle. Should you roll with everyone at your gym?
Oh, it depends on what size of a person you are. I feel like.
That's the exact question. He's
Yeah.
saying that this person was
Like,
Said-
I don't anymore.
Said he was small, but he weighed like 190, which I don't consider that small.
I consider
He must be
myself
training at
small.
Gordon Ryan School.
And he said that everyone that's 220 just murders him, and that he basically thinks it's pointless to roll with that person. which I
190 to
think he's-
220 is not
I think
out of
he's-
the question.
I think he's
feel
being
like.
a bitch, but
Yeah,
whatever.
It
I think
depends-
a 50-pound ratio is probably the best.
Yeah, but it also depends, and we say this every time. It depends on how are they rolling with you. Are they
Yeah.
just going to get in? The example that we hear all the time is they get into scarf hold and just squeeze until you tap.
Yeah.
You know, because you got them by 60 pounds, or are they like at least attempting to change positions and stuff. You know, that's the thing. If they're just literally, I grab you, I throw you down, and I sit on you until time's up, then yeah, it's no use. You're not learning anything. No one is.
BJJ Reddit is filled with basically these schools we talked about at the beginning.
Oh, gotcha.
And the
A lot of
questions
haters.
they ask are very different from the way we train, and like we would just actively make fun of people for this.
Yeah.
What this guy was more asking was, I think, that question.
Yeah.
Yeah. The hey, the guy's bigger than me. He's scarful. Like you never see me roll with anyone and just stick inside.
And
control,
honestly,
because
I
there's no
guess
point.
I want to reiterate what I said, because it's like, it's not necessarily that this guy's so much bigger than me, I'm not going with him, period, bottom line. It's more like, I know who this guy is, I know what he's like to roll with.
Yeah.
He's bigger than me, that's fine, he's nice, I will go and play top with him or something, and it's okay, but like,
I think communication's the biggest thing. As I've gone on, and like I've started the beginning where I rolled with everyone,
Mhm.
and now I have so many injuries, and I really do feel it. Not that the big person even hurt me.
Mm-hmm.
It's just you don't realize that you're loading yourself with 50 to 100 pounds sometimes.
Yeah.
It's like yesterday, Jeremy was body lock passing me, and I extended my knee, and my knee popped. He didn't do anything. He
Yeah.
was just literally sitting there, and when I was trying to shrimp, and just kind of like frame my knee to get space, my knee popped.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing he did.
and I also think if you're going with someone who's bigger than you, you got to make sure that they don't have in their mind that like they want to win and crush you.
Yeah.
Like I can't go against guys like that anymore that are way bigger than me that just want to win and like smash me.
So I think
I'm just not gonna do it.
My whole thing right now is communication. Like I
Yeah.
think if you would be honest and communicate with each other and be, like, one, don't be afraid to tell that guy, look, I've watched and I've rolled with you before, and the experience just isn't an enjoyable experience. Like I don't want to be. I'm working on my game in this place, and that's not helping my game do what I want it to do right now.
And I have
So-
3 more days I have to do this now after this. So
I think just communicating with the people will help that person become a better practitioner to others.
Yeah.
If you're, a lot of times what happens is you are a dick to that guy because he's a dick to someone else,
Mhm.
and then he continues to be a dick because everyone's a dick to him. And instead of just being honest with him and just being like, dude, the way that you're handling your situation isn't the way that I really want to train right now.
yeah.
And then finding, I think we as an academy have to find a way to create the right chemistry that we all want to grow and help
Yeah.
each other.
Yeah, I think that's really, you're right. That's what it comes down to the most. Just communicating, finding good training partners, people you like jive with.
Yeah, Chad's saying avoid the dick train. He's been on the dick train, and he doesn't like
a lot
to be
of
on
times
the
I
dick
rode
train.
the dick train, but you want to
Shit.
get off the dick train as quick as possible.
I actually disagree. I just think it's on the bigger person. But that's also, I'm a bigger person. I
Yeah.
always view it like that.
Well, I've seen a lot of small people be dicks too, though.
Yeah.
but I
like-
can always
Yeah,
handle
be
that
overly
problem.
aggressive and be
I'm not
mad
being
whenever.
mean. Like I've
Well,
I've
yeah,
had people
but
and even like at our gyms and like they're smaller and they have something to prove and then I'm like, okay, well I'm gonna now prove the exact opposite of what you want to prove. We had a guy at Mowequa and he literally came up to me and said, "Oh, I need a rest round." And I was like, okay. I was like, well, I'll go easy. And the guy goes, no, you can go as hard as you want. It's a rest round for me. And I was like, oh, cool. I'm gonna smash you for 5 minutes. And
yeah, that's a weird one to say.
Yeah, that's a real
that's
dickhead thing
real
to say to somebody.
And then I was like, and that's what happened. And I don't, but it's always on the bigger guy. It's just like, you can't have an ego. It like, if I go with anyone smaller, I just view it as if they get out of my half guard, they beat me. And that's the way I view it.
Yeah. Yeah, the big thing is you don't want to avoid someone new because they're big.
Yeah.
But if you have seen them roll or have personally rolled with them and they are a certain way, and if you have tried to communicate, it's like, hey, Can we, back down? Let's go a little slower. Maybe even do a flow roll. I'd rather do that. I'm afraid I might accidentally hurt myself because I play my game one way. And I mean, if you just spew out the most jiu-jitsu bullshit nonsense that you can, and then like, oh, okay, cool, then it's great. But if you do that and then continues like, yeah, well, that's cool. I'm still gonna put you in a scarf hold and squeeze your neck until it pops.
I try to give everyone one chance.
Yeah,
And after
at least
that,
one.
That's exactly what I do. Like, there was a guy, actually, at Effingham. He's an older guy, bigger.
Oh, I think I know
And
what you're talking
I don't want to. I
Yeah.
don't want anyone to know who I'm talking about. I'm just saying in general. I was rolling very light, and he grabbed my arm and just ripped it on a Kimura, and then I stopped it. I swept him immediately and was like, okay, we're not going to do that anymore. I was like, okay, now I have to actually go. Then I got in side control, and he tapped, and he was just, oh, that's too much pressure for me. And I was like, yeah, I had to do that because you ripped that Kimura. And he never did it again, and that's how you learn. I mean, I'm not being mean, but that's what I
You
always
didn't
do.
hurt him. That's the difference.
Yeah,
Like,
no. Yeah,
You didn't like
Just
knee
his
on
ego.
belly him and pull his neck till his ribs popped or something. Like,
We've all been there.
it's not fun.
I just always view
Flashback
it's the
to
bigger
Ronnie and
person.
Andrew.
I think it's their responsibility.
We won in the end, though.
Yeah, we
I
did.
can't believe that this question's on here after we already talked about it. Like, this actually isn't on you guys. This time it's just coincidence. If you could start a secret society, what would be its goals and who would you include?
The four of us.
Okay.
I would definitely create a secret society.
So, I mean, that's your question. So, number one, yes, answer.
I
So,
mean,
what would
it
be its
a
goals
jiu-jitsu
and who would
cult
you
that
include?
we like create world champions that are in ADCC, but it would be way cooler if we could like keep it all underground for like ever, and then like 2028 we just show up to the ADCC and
With an army.
yeah, like,
Do we have to go to church?
well, the church, no, I'm just- the Church of Chad Hawkins. I couldn't almost say that.
You did. You stopped yourself. Then you
I felt like
continued
my
to
soul
tell
was
on yourself,
burning, but
though.
then I was like, I gotta go through it there,
Yeah.
right? Like,
So we.
I may go to hell, but this joke's
Oh.
too good.
Oh my God, it's Mac Day.
Yeah.
They'd just be every day. It'd be
Yeah,
Chad
it's
Day.
Mac
It would be.
We would eat pizza, macaroni,
this sounds like a great cult.
Long
Yeah,
Island
it's-
iced teas.
It's not bad.
grilled
We're not
jujitsu.
bad here.
Grilled jujitsu.
We're on to something. We'll have a mountain with our four
Macaroni and
faces.
Long Island iced teas.
if you had like a secret, and now I'm going off topic, but I just thought about this.
Can you save it though? I want you to imagine that Mount Rushmore with our
Okay.
faces on it, but I have the hair from Justin Timberlake, when he
Okay.
has the spaghetti hair.
Nice.
Ramen noodle head?
Yeah. How great would that be? Okay.
Would be really good. I don't really think I should continue after that. I mean, that's
Yeah, I
solid
think that
gold
summed it
right
up.
there. If you had an underground group and they went and you went and competed at ADCC, would you hire a hacker to be able to disrupt the video feed so no one sees your guys roll?
Yes.
I think you do, right?
Yes.
You're like, all right, take out the video. The only people
It's
that
gonna
see
be
us
that
are
dude with the
who
mask that
compete.
comes on the face,
Yes,
And
yes,
he's like,
V for
we're
Vendetta,
taking over the
dude. Yes.
ADCC, and then
Yes.
it's like, these are the real competitors that are
You'll
gonna beat
never
your
see
bitch
them.
asses.
The only way to see them is see them live.
And they all come out with
What's
masks
the name
on.
of the team?
C team.
Last wave.
Last way.
Not bad.
I don't think either one of you are gonna beat that. So
Yeah,
we
I
should
think we
stop.
should-
Yeah, we should just go on. All
That's
right.
really good.
I am
Ugh.
160 pounds and get beat regularly by 200-pound guys. Do you have any advice for me? This was another round.
Go with 160 pound
Yeah.
guys.
Find someone
There's a lot
closer
of
to your
bitch assness
size.
on Reddit.
Yeah, there is. What style of martial art would do best in a jiu-jitsu tournament? Meaning cold, not meaning
Okay.
Yeah, cold.
What?
You
What
mean,
style of martial art
Other
would
than
do best?
jiu-jitsu.
In a jiu-jitsu.
Is wrestling a martial art?
Yes.
Yeah, I would either wrestling or if it's a no gi wrestling. If it's gi, then judo.
tournament?
It's either wrestling, judo, or sambo. I mean,
I'm
there's
not-
not even a
Oh,
debate.
sambo is not bad
So
too.
it's
It's good
one of those
mix.
three.
Krav
Sand
Maga.
fighting.
Krav
Yeah, but that's all
Maga-
like eye gouging.
Kick
and
'em in the
shit.
nuts.
They have some
It has
grappling.
jiu-jitsu in it though.
They
Yeah.
have some grappling, but
I don't feel like it's enough to
To
turn
get
the
the win.
tide. Yeah.
I feel
I
like
don't think
Krav
judo
Maga.
is
African
either.
sand fighting.
Yeah.
That would be
I feel like
fun.
wrestling's the most pliable to
It's-
all of it just because
it's
it's
the
like
only
your goal is
real
to get them
answer.
down and hold them down.
It's the only
Yeah,
real
like-
answer. I mean, Nicky Rod came in as a
Yeah.
blue belt and beat multiple black belts with just wrestling.
The-
and a Kimura or
Boom!
something.
I get to checkmate you. Now,
So-
king of the mat.
What about it?
What's the best what's the best martial art that comes into King of the Mat and does good? We already
Jiu-Jitsu.
have the answer.
What is it? It would have to be Sambo, probably.
No.
Jiu-Jitsu.
No, it can't be jiu-jitsu.
Wrestling.
Other. No,
It
we
can't,
see,
well,
we
it
see
can't
tons
be
of wrestlers
wrestling
lose.
because there's no submissions.
Eli, right? Basically a wrestler. Just started jiu-jitsu. He won the King of the Mat. Did 1 round, lost. This person's discipline did very well in King of the Mat.
Judo?
Yes.
Yeah, he made the last round.
Oh, that guy.
Ernest.
He's cool. I like him.
Yeah.
I don't think. I mean, I think if there's a Sambo guy and a Judo guy, that the Sambo guy would beat the Judo guy. We haven't had a Sambo guy.
I
don't
think you're
disagree
probably
with you.
right.
Yeah, I don't
as long as
disagree with
leg
that.
locks are in, so that would
White
that would
belt
be,
rules, then yeah, I don't know.
because that's the big thing. Like Sambo has submissions and
That
stuff.
guy's
but-
cool. I really want. I mean, I clearly want. I wanted Chris to win,
Yeah.
of course.
I remember
but
telling him, I was like, afterwards, like, hey, I'm sorry, I did say some kind of mean things, but it was truly just to get my. He's like, no, you're good. I totally get it. No, it was funny.
I told him how much we actually all 4 of
Yeah?
us talked about him. As I told him at
that was cool that he showed up again.
the
He's
Matt
done
Toon
too.
one. He said he's gonna show up every one.
That's
That's
awesome.
what he told me.
That's cool to know that.
Matt
that
Toon, Matt Toon, he slammed somebody, and I was
Yeah.
like, cool, I would have tapped.
It was
I-
Matt Toon's Ethan. Big Ethan is who he
No
slammed.
shit.
Yes, 100%. He hit-
Uchimata?
I would have quit.
no,
I would-
it was just a shoot. What's the one? I can't remember the name of it. It's the one where it's an outside trip, but
Ron-
it's
Ronnie's
Step
gonna-
in and trip him down.
Ronnie's gonna
to the
bring
back.
his
To the
cat of
outside,
nine tails
yeah.
out. He doesn't know that
Yeah, I know.
judo
I'll get it. Sotogari. Sotogari.
Oh, okay.
But
Got it.
he I told him straight up. I was like, dude, we were just so impressed. We were actually talking
Mm-hmm.
about you, saying like, we hope you came, and then he got second. I mean,
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
He beat one of the older guys from Springfield. He
yeah,
went
I
to
actually did a
him.
private lesson with him
Yeah, he
right before Jeremy.
threw him, and then grabbed his arm with that leg Kimura thing, and I was like, oh my god, that'd be tough. I wouldn't have been able to get out of it. It would have been hard. And then he did it to Chris, got the scar, and Ronnie had just went over it.
Yeah, it's funny.
And that's
that
the only
week,
reason.
That
Yeah.
week, Chris came to one of my gi classes, and we went over how to put that on and how to escape that. Is hilarious. It just so happened to
He
be
probably
that
needs
way.
to get
pretty
his
cool.
blue belt next year. I would
Yeah,
guess
dude,
if he
he's
keeps
close.
doing what he's doing. You
Yeah.
know, I mean,
Oh,
him
for
and
sure.
Andy. There's a little group that's starting to show up that I really think would be a good group to get.
Yeah, and
I think
Dutch
him and
says
Andy
he
for
wants to
sure.
do the test.
That's awesome.
That's
I love Dutch, man.
He's
Like
such
that's
a
another
good dude.
person that we would have never had if we didn't do
Mhm.
Mawikwa. You know, like just
yeah, Dutch
the
wants to do
different
the
people.
test. He's nuts.
yeah, he's nuts.
He wants to be like he
I
wants
saw
to be
such
like
an improvement in
full-
his game when I rolled with him in Nogi
Yeah.
the last time.
Except he said whenever you guys rolled in gi, he
Oh,
felt
no.
so bad. He was just like,
he actually came to a couple gi classes right after that.
He
He's like,
was
I got to
like-
redeem myself, man. This is awful.
He did so good with me in Nogi, and I was like, shit, he's kind of annoying. And then Gi, I just annihilated him. And he was like,
hates gi. Like
Yeah.
we all do.
He's always like, he's like, man, there's so much MMA going on here. Maybe one day you guys will
I
just
think
be
I
in
broke this
no-gi
finger again
school.
the other day because Zeke stripped the grip on it on Friday, and I
You
heard
gotta
it
start
pop a bunch.
taping it, dude.
I had Zeke's gi, and I heard like 4 things pop in it, and I was like,
Mine's
that's
finally
probably
starting
good.
to feel normal.
I came back to class after I was hurt, and then my hand got stuck in a gi with Dakota and bent I had to rip my hand out. It hurt so bad.
It's always whenever it bends them to the side, when they pop your grips and it like bends down or whatever.
I don't know. What is
Cats
what is
running
the
all over
what
the
is
place.
the activity that brings more people together that are way different in jiu-jitsu? I worded that so
Weed?
poorly.
Well,
You know the meme. You know the meme where
know
they
that
said,
Oh, yeah.
with the knights,
Yeah.
and then it
Weed's
has
the one thing that
stoners,
you got like
police,
your
criminals.
CEOs, and then your the
Yeah.
lowest.
So, but so what's the activity that brings more different types of people? Because I don't think there's an answer. I think jiu-jitsu is the only answer.
It brings a lot of different
Yeah.
people from different realms together for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And it's funny when those realms cross because I remember being there a time where this guy was like, hey, I know you. Hey, I know you. And it was one of the cops talking to someone that they arrested before.
Oh yeah, I do like that.
I-
so great.
I always like it when Andy's like, "Hey, just want you to know that I have to smash that guy later." I'm like, "Sure, go for it."
I just think
One time.
I think it is one of the only, because like MMA,
No, it
There's-
was he smashed someone. He tackled one of the guys that came to class
Yeah.
outside, arresting him.
Yeah.
Sorry.
he had to get that.
Well, I didn't want it to be wrong.
No,
He didn't
it's
say
all
it
right.
about the guy
But-
in class. He said he did it.
No, what I'm saying is that like MMA, for instance, like that brings a certain sect of person.
Yes.
Karate, Taekwondo, those
Yeah.
things. Jiu-Jitsu, it's so
It's a wild card.
It's
deal.
also like it brings wrestlers in. Like we've actually got a wrestling thing going now, and there's a wrestler who came in to train. Oh, by the way, have you heard the story about the adult competition? I'll tell you off air. That one's really good. It's about PSF Mount Vernon. But anyways, the one of the guys that came in for Eli and Connor, he was like, "Oh, what do you guys do here?" And Connor, I guess, started rolling some jits with him or something. And then he was like, "Oh, wow, I might come to MMA classes now," because he's like, "Maybe I'll get in the cage." It's just such a, but
Yeah.
jiu-jitsu does that more than anything.
I think so,
I don't
too.
know why, but I think it's crazy. I just thought that was a funny question. This is a producer question, so we're also going to go into that. But my original question was this: do you, it's pretty dumb, but he adds on to where it helps out, and then there's a name that Chad will look at you and go, "What is that?" Do you think back in the day of knights and warriors that you could submit one before they killed you?
Are they in full like
Yeah,
heavy
are they in
armor?
knight armor?
That would be yeah.
Oh man, and they have a sword.
I do know.
I think so. As long as you can control that.
It's
Man.
tough, man.
Oh, I bet, because I bet they're humanly out of
Yeah.
this world strong.
One, did
Yeah,
you know
but-
that knights were trained from birth, right? So they actually,
Yeah.
like, as toddlers, they started weight training with them for their equipment.
I
they
just
would
don't
later
think it
wear.
matters at all if you get someone's back and you get the rear naked choke. Doesn't matter who you are or what you've done, you're gonna go out.
This is a fun
So-
fact, though, that will go along with this. Someone sent this to me the other day, but do you know why they created spiral staircases the way that they did? So I want to say that all spiral staircases go up to the right.
Okay.
And
That
what
was-
it's,
yeah, that was
what it's
right.
designed is like 75% of people in those times were right-handed.
Yeah.
And when you went up where your sword would be on the inside of the spot, so you couldn't use it. And when you were
That makes
coming up,
sense.
the other person would have their right hand to attack down on you. So it was like
That makes
almost
sense.
impossible
Yeah,
to siege
that
a
makes sense.
castle because you were basically, it was a one-on-one fight anytime you tried to go upstairs, and they would just slaughter you.
I think that would mean it would be on your left because you would draw a cross.
But not even, you'd have the sword already out.
You'd
But
have
you
it.
couldn't, you know, like you're
I see.
like trying to like
can't
you're
go
into-
like this, you
Yeah.
gotta
While the other guy's
be
just
like
literally
that.
going down on the
I
dominant
see
side.
like
It was
this.
kind of neat that
Yeah.
I watched that.
And that would do it. I've been playing paintball lately, and
Yeah.
there's a couple guys that say I can't go to the left side because I can't shoot left-handed. So they
Yeah.
only
that's
go
a
to the
flaw.
right side.
Oh, I remember when I did paintballing the speed courses, and they would always, if I had to go to the left first, it was annoying because
Yeah.
you're basically exposed the entire
Mhm.
time.
Yeah.
I always wanted to go to
Just
the
end up
right.
blind firing.
Are you doing that with Gage?
hmm
Yeah, I miss Derek and I paintballed like probably for a year, like every weekend. And it's fun.
Yeah.
I never believed it until I started training for certain things, and then the instructor was like, "You have to start training left-handed," and then I actually got pretty good at shooting left-handed. But that's the only reason I did is because of that actual scenario of that. I
It's
think
cool to
you
watch
have
the
a-
paintballers that can do both.
I think
Yeah.
you have like 20% chance to die if you're left-handed, more than like someone that's right-handed. Like the world is just completely not made for someone who
Yeah,
is
I mean, that
like
kinda makes
traffic.
sense.
The whole like what you're saying, staircases are made for that. They just said like you have like a way more higher chance to die if you're left-handed, which I just always thought was weird. Producer question, because he thought that question was stupid. Anyway, so well, he thought like, no, a knight would just stab you. That was his
Yeah.
exact answer, which is not.
It would be
Have
interesting.
you actually, that's where I was going. Have you seen the movie on Netflix? They started making all of these movies about knights. Like Chris Pine had one, but the weird one that I really liked was the one by Timothy Chalamet. You know that really pretty looking guy? He's in Dune.
Yeah. Timothy
He,
Chalamet.
he plays a knight, but instead of fighting like with swords and stuff, it eventually gets down to hand-to-hand combat. So he wears knuckle dusters,
Mm.
and then he fights with like the chain armor on, and it actually looks like MMA.
Yeah.
And I read, which I don't know if I believe it, they said that's actually more accurate than actual knight movies. That they would a lot of times just go hands to hands.
Yeah.
So actually, that's not.
Well, I feel
That's
like if
not
you're in
true.
that knight
No,
armor
no.
back in the day, like you make one mistake hitting,
Mhm.
and that sword's gonna fly out of your hand. Like to keep
Well,
that
a lot of
sword.
times they had bands attached to their wrist, like a Wii remote, you know? It's like a leather strap on your hand, so it gets disarmed. It's still
got to be hard to like get it
Right,
back
but it's
though,
not
'cause you
gone.
can't see it as easy either, you know. So like now you're
what a comparison.
Well, when you carry a
It's so
shotgun,
sad
too, that's,
that
you put
that
it
was
around.
exactly what I was.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean like a Wii remote in my head?
That was the
That
first thing
makes
that
me
came to
feel-
my
I,
mind.
God,
medieval
such a
times is one
nerd.
of my favorite things to like think about. Like I think that would have been it would have been a horrible era to live in.
Right.
But at the same time, like
It's
it'd have
fun
been
to
such a cool
romanticize about, though.
era, you know, like to have
Mhm.
castles and armor and like you don't just have a gun and get shot and you're out of the fight in a second. Like
Chivalry.
fights could last probably days
Mhm.
sometimes just to siege one castle.
Yeah.
Weeks, probably.
That's, Art of War.
I mean that's kind of cool to me. Sometimes it just sucks. You just push a button now. It's like, well, we won.
So the producer question, said he made it better. What period of history would knowing jiu-jitsu be the most valuable? Now, here's one of the...
When you're a fucking caveman.
Yeah,
the
definitely.
First one
Well-
right there is Stone Age. He said Stone
But then
Age.
here's the question too:
I mean,
are
all
you
of them.
well? Are you a caveman? Or are you now who you are? Because I guarantee those guys back in the day were like built differently.
Yeah, but also think about
Yeah,
like
their joints aren't though. You
Well,
show
I
'em
know,
a
but they're
Kimura,
like
you
monkeys.
still break their
I
fucking
guarantee
arm.
a monkey would like is
Yeah,
so strong.
but with another monkey with two of his monkey
That's
arms
what I'm
on
asking.
your one
That's
arm.
what I'm asking. Are you like
Yeah,
are you
no.
Brandon Wells going back?
But he's a caveman.
But
No, it's
so-
just the knowledge, right?
Okay.
Yeah, the knowledge is in your brain.
Okay, well then that makes sense.
the other downside to that would be is if you like. Well, I guess as long as you knew other things too. But like those guys were trained to be able to use weapons to kill animals. Like it's going to be a lot tougher to chase down an animal and use jiu-jitsu. I mean, it's done. Joe Rogan's surely done it, but
Yeah, I was just thinking about them fighting each other. I
yeah,
guess, but you're
fighting
right.
each other, 100%.
You're right,
I think
though.
survival,
Oh, God.
maybe not.
The
Yeah.
rear naked choke, though, they call that mata leon for
That's
a
right.
reason. That means lion
This is-
killer.
This
so.
is where
I
I'm
did choke a
dark.
dog out once.
Yeah, I watched that happen. That dog's dead now. Congratulations.
Hercules killed a lion
It
like
was
that.
horrible. I know. I felt bad for
I think
that.
that's how Hercules killed
He
the lion of
respected me
Crimea
after
or
that.
whatever.
You did.
So this is where I get real dark on this.
Okay.
Yeah, I watch you guys kill that lion, and then I just come and rear naked choke you. And then
Okay, there
I
we
win.
go.
There you go.
There you go. That trick
But
only works for a
what
couple
era?
times.
So we're deciding the caveman era is the best, or is
Oh,
there
they're
another
all-
time?
that was-
well,
in it.
this is the he has the joke in here, so
Okay.
let's keep going. Feudal times.
I mean, obviously, it's useful. It's going to be useful in all of them. It's just like, which one do they have the least weapons to batter you with before you grab them? So,
I feel like can we go to the future? Because we're getting really
We got
soft.
more-
that
we
I
got
feel-
more. There's a joke in here. Hold on. Old West. Now this is where I do know something, because I took 4 classes on the Old West. Guns weren't as accurate
No,
back in the
no,
day.
not even
like we
close.
act like they're always the accurate they have. And I've even seen some articles recently that said like black powder guns are accurate, and I don't believe that because I've shot a black.
I'm
powder
sure there's a
gun.
lot of times they drew the
But-
gun and it like
Yeah,
missed and then
Misfires,
you know, like
and like all this shit. So would jujitsu be?
I think so. I think you would have to be
yeah.
like tactical with it. I
I
don't.
mean,
you
think how
clearly
many
can't.
bar fights you could win with a Kimura.
Yeah,
Like,
no, I agree. Yeah, I actually agree. The Ottoman Empire.
I think the Western would have been cool. What's
Ottoman Empire.
is that the question I'm asking Brandon on?
The Ottoman Empire. Would jujitsu be good for the Ottoman Empire?
like I said, it's good in all scenarios. There's not one time period where it's useless, right? I mean,
Yeah, what we found out is we could find a way for it to be useful if we give it enough time.
All right. Okay. What is better, surprise promotions or planned?
surprised.
I like both. It depends on the athlete.
Yeah.
Because to me, like if Brandon comes to me and he says, I want to do exactly what you did in competition, and this is the route that I want to go, and I give him a course for him to do, and he accomplishes those things, I think it's incredible.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that's kind of what happened.
But then I have my other athletes that it's like, it's almost like maybe they compete. Sometimes they don't compete, but like they put the work in, and I see them making a difference in people's lives, that it kind of, then that I want it to be like a unique, special thing in that sense.
Yeah.
So I think it really depends on the athlete.
I think surprise promotions can only happen at a tournament.
Yeah.
You can't really do
Well-
a good surprise one because it just doesn't, like, it means a lot at a tournament because you won, or maybe even if you didn't win, you podium, whatever it is, and you get promoted. That mean there's people watching. But if I'm like,
stand by and wait till you get your black belt.
yeah, and
I think
but
that'd be a good surprise.
if you surprise someone like, hey, the next time you see them, like, hey, I'm promoting you, and it's like, oh, cool, all 3 people here are really excited for me.
No, I think you'd have to put the time into
Yeah,
it.
you
I think
have
you'd have
to-
to contact the family and really, like.
and that's a lot of work.
It
Cause
is,
no one
but
can
it's
keep a
worth
secret.
doing it. I mean, it's worth trying.
It only
Like I
happens
know
once.
there's, you guys are coming up on your black belt soon, and I'm trying to figure that out. And it's a battle for me because 1, I can't give it to you guys, and 2, I got to figure out how to go through Heath and Rodrigo, unfortunately. But like that, I want to be a special moment.
I don't know anymore. He might just be Heath.
What? Yeah, I don't know, but even Heath is technically, I don't think, a 2nd-degree black belt, so he's not even. He has to get permission from Rodrigo. Well, I mean, I don't think Rodrigo would ever say anything. I don't. But I mean, it's still it's not as easy as going blue or purple or brown.
Right.
It's like I know that it's going to be a process.
Isn't Heath Pedigo basically like the American version of like that's Jiu-Jitsu?
What do you mean?
Like I get questions now at weird places about like, oh my God, you know Heath Pedigo?
I do
I'm
feel
being
like
dead-
yeah, I
I'm
know
being
it's.
dead
I
serious.
agree.
Like,
it's
I'm not
funny.
joking.
Mhm.
Like there was one guy who said, "Well, how much would it cost for my son to come train there for a day?" And I was just like, I'm pretty sure like everyone, it's just you just come in and you just train.
Yeah.
You
And
just
like
have to sell your soul.
he was pretty shocked. He was just like, no. He's like, when I went to Lovato, it's like $100 drop-in fee, and
Yeah.
I was like, oh no, God, no. Because one of the answers I kind of thought was Lovato. Like he was like known as, was it Dreyfus? The other, I can't
Yeah.
think of his name.
Yeah.
Those are but I think he's coming up to where I don't even think Danaher because he speaks too much Japanese.
Yeah.
I mean,
To go back to this question we just asked too, like, did you guys just see recently where Heath promoted Marshall to purple belt?
Mhm.
Yeah.
That felt like a surprise and it seemed pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
that's so. I didn't recognize him when I was down
Yeah.
there.
I know.
No, you don't. It's hard.
because
Yeah.
because of his hair.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Hey, congratulations on your blue belt." And I was like, "Oh, I did not know who it was." And
Yeah.
I was like, "Hey, I'm the worst Pedigo blue belt now." And his actual wording was, "Hey, you just let me off, let me off or something."
I did
and
my-
then I saw him get promoted. I was like, "Oh wow, that really actually happened. That's cool."
I did my test with Marshall. I like him
Yeah.
a lot.
Oh yeah, he's a nice guy.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
don't know. I like both, but it's hard to figure it all out. But yeah, I mean,
What's next?
I apologize. There's a gnat in my drink.
you drink it.
No,
Protein.
If you were chosen to be the first human to make contact with aliens, would you want to?
Yes.
Or what?
No.
Yes. I'd do it.
What
You
would
got
you
it?
do?
I don't know, but I'd do it.
Whatever they ask.
Yeah.
Gay porn?
If that's what it takes for the race.
I don't
Bite
think that grows the race.
He'll bite that bullet.
Yeah, I'd go check it out for sure.
All right.
Oh no, I'm terrified of aliens.
Yeah, I'm
This
terrified.
thing-
Yeah, I don't know if I could
Yeah.
do it. You won't be able to speak on.
You ever seen Close Encounters of the Third Kind at the end when they get on the ship at the end and
Yeah.
stuff? I'd definitely get on.
It would
there.
be freaky. It'd be so freaky.
Yeah,
When I see my first
already
alien, it's gonna be
terrified.
like that movie Signs, when he walks by and you're like, oh
The
god. I
cornfield.
remember as a child, like
It's the best movie.
It's a good movie. It's one of
Man, that
Shyamalan's
movie
best.
for-
Yeah, for sure.
until the end, like I was terrified. I was like, I'm never gonna sleep again. And then I was like, oh, I just gotta pour some water on these bitches.
Well, that's kind of
Done.
an ode to War of the
I feel-
Worlds,
yeah.
where they can't exist in our atmosphere, sort of, and stuff. Like
I thought it was more of an ode to Mars Attacks when you just kill them with country music.
Mars Attacks is great.
I
That's a
love
great
that movie.
Yeah, dude.
I like it worse than that.
Great movie.
Is that the one where they're like little aliens and it's kind
Have
of
a little bubble.
Yeah. That was a funny movie.
Fuck, I love that movie.
Yeah, it's
It's been so long since I've seen it.
What kind of movie or TV show would you make if money/skill, that's the most important, /skill, wasn't an object?
I already created the whole movie.
Okay. Let's
What do
go.
you guys- I'm making the Gundam Wing movie series.
What's
Be pretty
Gundam
good.
Wing? Is that
It's the mobile suits where you go into the chest or whatever, but like I have it all drawn out with the first movie and the sequel.
Is that the one where Charlie thinks that they all combine from Motown Philly and they make a robot?
That's
and
Voltron.
Is that Voltron?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Gundam Wing's like that they...
It's like a big mech suit. You get into the robot, and then you fight other robot pilots in mech suits.
You got lightsabers, and
Shields and
you live in the
guns.
colonies or whatever, and the colonies are being treated badly, so each colony creates its own mobile suit and sends it to Earth to fight the government or whoever's in charge.
He's been working on this for 11.
Oh, yeah.
How long have I been in the gym?
Man, I had
It's
the
one of
whole
first things you
story
told
wrote
me.
out. Like, it's cool. Like, I'm living in Chicago, and my life sucks, and I, like, get on a plane, and I have the whole script wrote out.
I have so many questions, but this is the first one. One, is this like got IP attached to it?
I even contacted Michael Bay and asked him to do the film for me.
No, I'm asking like, does it have like, is there like
There is
Gundam
no
Wing,
intellectual
like,
property. For sure.
comic
There's a
books?
what?
It's an
and
anime.
Oh, yeah,
shows
there's a
and
whole
stuff. So there's
series.
actual like IP to it. So
Yes.
you actually could do that. Okay,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an anime.
that's a fine way to
Probably
answer the
manga, too.
question. Ronnie, I know it's gonna be anime related, but I don't know.
Me? No, I haven't thought of anything.
I already told you mine. So
Gosh.
yeah.
When I was a kid, I tried to, and because I have ADD so bad, I never did finish it, but I tried to write a book about a kid that was a walk-on basketball player for college. So maybe I'd go back and finish that.
I thought they was going to hold
I
it.
thought it was gonna.
I got 3 sentences in on a book once.
thought-
Maybe I'll go finish
I
it.
thought it was gonna be like Air Bud or something.
That was a good
Air
movie.
Bud goes to college now.
They don't have that?
Oh, man.
They probably
No,
do.
the
I feel
last
like they
one.
got
Oh my
like
God.
50
Ronnie
If
told
you-
me
earbuds.
the last one.
If you do Air Bud in college, you have to see a golden retriever do a cake stand.
Of course,
And
yeah.
that would be the greatest
adult
scene
Yeah.
in the history of
good.
cinema.
I'm good
okay,
with
we're
that.
done.
I would watch that movie.
I would watch the shit out of that.
To be honest, it's like I'm pretty satisfied with the Dungeons and Dragons movie right now. I kind of hope they just keep making better ones of that.
And sadly, they've canceled all of it.
Really?
Yeah, it's gone
Huh.
again. Yeah, it's terrible.
We'll see.
They want to ruin everything, right?
Mhm, yeah.
But yeah, I already told you guys mine. It would be where movies started one way and then they
Yeah.
go completely different version.
Yeah, that
I
was
just find that
disarming.
structure of a movie the best. But my movies also would not be successful because that's not marketing.
But money doesn't matter, remember?
Yeah. You're not marketing. You would make the greatest movie ever, but there's no marketing.
It's like Waterworld. Who cares?
Well, that movie, it was the Asian movie, Everything All at Once.
Mhm.
That was basically what that movie was.
Yeah.
It just kept playing because people kept coming to watch it. But
I kind of liked Waterworld, actually.
that
It
is
was a huge flop, but
There-
I loved it.
that is one of the biggest movies where there are so many people who love that movie, but they
It's
don't
good.
want to ever say they love
It's
that
a good
movie.
movie.
Classic.
Yeah.
I like it.
There's a lot of movies like that for me. All right. Who are the best instructionals coming from?
Chad Hawkins.
It's hard to not say Chad Hawkins.
I had that
He's
joke
right
written
there.
down. It was in there, but
I mean, it's either John Danaher, Gordon Ryan, or Craig Jones to me.
Or Chad Hawkins.
I think
Well, that goes without saying.
entertainment factor, I would watch Craig Jones' shit way more than anyone else's, but I think the amount of detail that Donaher puts in his shit is so good, but man, I literally cannot watch it unless
I
it's
can't
on like,
watch him.
it's like twice speed.
I
think-
try, but
I think Gordon Ryan is like the dummy version of Danaher, though.
Mhm.
It is, and that's why I would rather just watch Danaher stuff.
Yeah, I just think it's like his is stripped down,
Mm-hmm.
real American,
Yeah.
and then Danaher starts speaking Japanese to you or something
Yeah,
like that. And you're
that's
like,
what
I
don't
love the
want that.
Danaher Japanese stuff.
I like
Sometimes
the
he-
AOJ instructionals though. I do.
Yeah, I know that's your favorite.
I mean, I love the details and the way that they show their techniques, and I think they got their shit good right now.
I know this isn't a like a jiu-jitsu instructional, but one of the best guys that I watch for MMA is Jeff Chan. He's a one fighter, but what he does is he'll show a technique,
Yeah,
and then he shows him using that technique live,
Yeah.
and he shows
In
when
sparring.
he does it and succeeds, and when he does it and fails, and then over top said I failed because I didn't set it up with a feint, or I failed
That's
because.
great.
It's great. You get to
Yeah.
see him try it live, and I've seen him do on just weird shit stuff he's not good at, and then go on it and try it and fail and succeed, and it's really you
AOJ
really
's
learn
not
so much
that
better.
detailed, but they're kind of, they'll show a technique and then they'll do some live rolling rounds.
That's if you don't show it live, or at least at like a little bit quicker speed than drilling speed, it's hard to.
It just
not-
lends so much more credibility
Exactly.
to it. It's like makes you feel like it works. when
Yes.
You watch it.
His best one I've ever seen him do was actually Jiu-Jitsu, which I would say probably Jeff Chan, that's not his
Right.
the best place he's at. And he went against a D1 level wrestler, and he like legitimately was like, he asked me no legs. So like he's sitting there going with them, and then but he's like, this is why wrestling's great because of what he's doing to me here, but this is why it's flawed because here's the great heel hook entry that I had to let go of immediately.
Yeah.
So I thought that was really cool.
I think he actually just got his black belt. Jeff Chan did,
Yeah.
but I think it's a Gracie Baja black belt. so-
He's one of those Asians
What's
I
that
hate
mean?
because he's so good looking. Yeah, I hate those Asians that are good looking and fit. I can't stand them. They're the worst. There's a guy that got adopted with me, and he was a 6'3" Korean, and looked like he was chiseled out of stone. And
Man, when
fucking
there's a
hate him.
jacked Asian dude with the right face line, they look badass.
No, this is
Like-
what this guy looked like, man. He won a state championship in Pinckneyville in basketball, and I hated him. So my friend illegally clipped him in a football game and said that was for Michael, and he did not know who I was. But
That's
I
always
hate
good.
I
It
hate
is weird the difference in the Asian bodies sometimes. Like they're just so like
fucking-
seriously,
I
like
hate that son of a
they're
bitch.
you could just be like it's almost like they're not even in the same
So
world.
racist.
Well, I don't-
Everybody's like that.
Nah, I mean,
I
no,
can't
like-
believe I'm gonna vouch, but wow, that is Korean. It's true.
Like-
Koreans, they can be like,
women are the same way. Like they could be a
I'm not going that
supermodel.
way. I'm not doing that. And we're gonna go on to the next question. I tried to help, but I didn't go that way.
Okay.
Here, please pull me out of this pit. Sure, I will. Down in the pit you go.
Come with me.
Try to help.
Good.
You may not save me, so we both die.
Hey,
Good
that's
news.
why we're on the mountain.
All right. If I messed up the one name, we can fix it. But gun to your head, you have to fight this person and not die. Andre Gaveo or Mikey Musumeci.
I'm dead.
I mean, all three of you are fighting them, not me.
I'm dead.
I gotta pick which one I'd rather fight.
Yeah. Gun to your head, like to live. Like you think I could fight this person off long enough that I could live.
It's gotta be Andre.
Oh, see, I thought that was the sweet spot. I thought Andre would be the person. That's
I
who I
mean-
thought it would be.
Mikey, Mikey's got to go to a dark place. I mean, is the person in a dark place and they want to kill you?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because Mikey would have emotional thoughts probably in the middle and be like, I'm
No,
so sorry, I don't really want to kill
You're
you.
answering it opposite of what me then. I apologize. Who do you think you could probably at least live? That's what the question
I
is.
feel-
mean, maybe
I feel
I
like
could
these
convince
people-
Mikey not to kill me.
Both-
Yeah, I feel
both-
like Andre
no.
mentally would.
No, both of these people want to kill you
Okay.
because you kicked their puppy and spit in its face.
Well, then
Then
neither of
I
them.
think it's Andre I have a better chance against than Mikey.
There we go. That's the answer I wanted.
But why?
Why? I think Andre's older, a little bit more hurt, a little bit more injured, and
It's
he's
like 3 times as big as Mikey.
well, no, I mean,
And
what
like
is
a-
he? 190?
He's like the greatest
200?
Yeah,
decorated
192.
champion of
But
ADCC of all
Yeah,
time.
but
He is
that was
short.
20 years ago.
And
Very
we're talking
short.
a fight too, so
I mean-
Andre at least has some MMA experience.
Yeah, but it was horrible.
True, but
Hey, Mikey is learning from
he
Rotang.
is learning.
I
Yeah,
mean,
Mikey now is.
I gotta
is
say,
slower.
I'm not walking out of that room.
Well,
But
that
the
sounds like a
question
little
is
bitch
gun
ass
to your head.
answer.
You
It
have
is.
to choose
You have
one
to
or the
choose.
other.
You have to fight one. Who is
Well,
it?
Flipping a coin.
I think I would pick Mikey, but man, it is close. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, you can try to knock him out, I guess.
Like, we're in this room together and one of us is walking out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, how are you gonna kick? I mean, how are you gonna strike with Mike? He's gonna sit his ass on the ground and he's gonna just
Yeah,
wrap your
soccer
ass up.
kick him. That's right. No
I mean,
rules, baby.
I mean,
Yeah.
no
that's
rules,
it.
just right.
Missile
I feel
drop
like
kick.
Mikey's timing and speed, if I was to try to attack him, I would be locked down immediately. But I feel like as long as I didn't let Andre Gavallo just smash me right off the bat, I'm going to be able to have a little bit
I feel
more
like as soon
chance.
as either of them do this, I'm dead.
You're just gonna have a heart attack.
This doesn't matter at that point.
All I can picture is Mikey like a scary monster in a monster movie, just slowly climbing up you until he gets to your neck, and then he chokes you until you're dead.
Yeah, neither
Andre,
of them are beatable.
Yeah,
So.
is what
Well,
it
not
is.
with that mindset.
When someone on a question thread posts they got 2 twisters and an open mat, douche or no douche? It's on a question thread.
I guess it depends on the open mat. Was it like a no-gi, all subs legal open mat, or was it a white belt
This
open
was
mat?
another Reddit one.
Did you do it to a white belt?
Yeah,
he
like-
literally just like, it's a question thread, and I just put in as a joke.
I mean, I don't think it's
He-
that douchey.
He
no.
literally was like, they were like, hey, here's your question. And he writes, he goes, yeah, the other day at an open mat, I got 2 twisters, really proud of myself. And somebody goes, where's the question? He goes, nah, I just wanted to brag on myself.
That's douchey then.
That's
It depends how you did it. Did you do it where you like twisted the guy? You're like, hey, bro, I just twisted you, loser. Or was it like, hey,
It
thanks?
definitely felt like that.
Yeah.
It definitely felt like. It also felt like he was
Douchey.
at a Gracie Baja open mat, and then he like is outside. Just
It's almost like a
twisting
dude wearing a
motherfucker.
gi and a no gi.
douchey. Next question.
What is a rule or a legal maneuver you believe is valid?
Knee raping?
I don't think so.
No. I've never seen anybody get hurt from that yet. I'm not saying it
Oh,
hasn't
you're
happened,
saying- But then I think you're going against the question.
Oh.
You're saying it should be legal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's saying what rule that
No,
basically.
no, he's answering it right.
What is
Oh,
illegal
yeah.
that I think is stupid for
Oh,
being
I thought you
legal?
said what's legal.
No,
that
no, no.
you
What,
think's
what,
stupid.
what
Oh, okay.
rule or a legal maneuver
Got you.
should be valid?
Okay.
I
And
think
Yeah.
knee raping's not that bad.
mine's
but-
crucifix. I don't get that one.
But I
Yeah,
think
for
that's
sure.
like,
The crucifix one.
but
I
didn't
don't
we
get
look
at all.
that up and it was like there was some nuance I found that like when they say crucifix, it doesn't mean that position that we think of.
Nope.
It means a different one.
There is a tutorial from Dallas Open that every kind of crucifix is illegal.
I swear we looked it up and on the ADCC website it said that it meant because it's referring to like a wrestling technique that they call the crucifix, which is different, kind of like how the guillotine in wrestling is the twister.
Correct.
They have a tutorial now where they filmed all the illegal maneuvers and they showed the
So what
exact-
about it is illegal then? Like why is it
You
illegal?
know the Sun Yun one where she goes behind the neck and she has you straightened out like this and your neck is on her stomach? They're saying that what she can do is grab and she can turn and snap your neck. And
I mean, if I
don't-
have someone in a rear naked choke, I could fucking break
Yeah.
their neck too.
Yeah.
That's why I say it's the dumbest. To me, what they're saying is, and I think it's a little bit because of that lawsuit, they're
Yeah.
saying that you don't have control because your arms are being pinned down.
Yeah, but you can verbally tap.
That's correct. That's
Yeah.
why I think
I don't know.
I
Yeah,
think
serious ones
reaping
don't.
and crucifixes should be allowed. I think for sure under those rule sets. Like I get as a white belt IBJJF why some of those like reaping.
Yeah,
and
but
things
if I
aren't
can
allowed.
pick somebody up out of a triangle and slam them on their fucking head to get out of it,
Yeah.
but I can't put
Yeah.
my legs around their arm.
No, for sure, I agree.
Like-
I think under that rule set, it should be legal. I think under a white belt IBJJF match,
Yeah, that's-
don't
that's
allow
different.
reaping, don't allow crucifixes. I don't understand why you can't.
I was shocked when they said that was like one of the only main illegal moves was a crucifix because it could break your neck, and I was like, what about all this other shit that can break your neck? I was like, twisters that breaks your spine, right?
Yeah. It's a spine attack for sure.
I'm just to me, there's no rhyme
I'd
or
rather be in a
reason.
crucifix than a twister.
Oh God, yes, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I'd rather have someone reap my knee too than.
And also break your neck and die. Yeah, I agree with that too.
What do you think about reaping in the gi or like heel hooks and stuff in the gi?
I don't think it. No.
I don't, and I agree with that because there's
But,
so
like-
much friction, there.
friction,
It's so
yeah.
hard to slide because the number one way to get out of those is to turn the
Slide.
knee, clear the knee line and slide out. But it's so hard to slide
I
out.
mean,
with
it
that
is,
gi
but
pin.
it's like it's hard to slide your fucking arm out of an arm bar too when they have
That's
your
true.
knee gripped up. Like
Yeah,
I don't
but
really
part,
see the difference.
Part of the mechanics of you being able to get out of leg locks is the mobility of you to turn and clear your knee line. And
But
you
isn't it
can't
all-
turn at all.
But isn't grappling all about getting someone tied up into a checkmate style position, right? That's what it all is.
I
The
agree.
arm bar's the same thing. The heel hook's the same thing. You get them to this position where they're like, you're stuck now. I'm gonna apply this until you tap, or I fucking break you.
Yeah, I mean,
I've just never understood the like this technique is too powerful. We can't use this.
I
I
definitely
agree.
think
Yeah.
that once you reap in the gi, you're done. You're not getting out of it.
Yeah, maybe so. Maybe I just am ignorant to how devastating it can be because I don't see it enough because it is illegal.
I mean, I think that if you could illegally reap in the gi, like, there's no one that's sliding out of a leg lock anymore.
But even at IBJJF and Nogi, you can't read.
Yeah, you can at adult brown.
Okay, well, at
Adult brown, all
brown.
rules are all legal.
But
I
have you ever seen somebody get their knee blown out
Well, in
from
the
getting
gi,
a
it's
reaped?
not no gi. But have I what?
Have you ever seen someone get their knee blown out from a reap?
Oh, quite a few times. Quite a few times. I mean, it depends the force put into it when you kick through the leg, but
I think most of the time though, a lot of times whenever people like they're getting reaped, like how he's saying, a lot of times it's because they don't know what they're doing. They
Right.
turn the wrong way,
yeah, for sure.
which to me is user error.
Correct.
Which
I mean, what
I
if
agree
you
with that.
go the wrong way out of a hitchhiker escape? You probably get your fucking arm broken too.
Yeah, for sure. But the arm will heal much faster than the knee's gonna fix.
What if you go the wrong way out of a Kimura and your shoulder gets ripped apart? Your shoulder's gonna take as long as your knee or longer.
I'm dealing with that now, man. I don't think my shoulders are ever gonna be the same.
I
It
had someone
still
just
hurt.
gift wrap me one time so hard that my shoulder was fucked up for like 7 or 8 months. So,
That joint getting separated. I don't think I'm ever.
those are
gonna be the
complex
same.
joints.
It's weird.
They'll
as
never,
shit.
yeah, they never heal the
I
same.
sleep on it the wrong way, and it hurts.
I would be interested to see some top tier matches in the gi with reaping and all rules, but I don't think that you will see a lot of escapes.
I don't either.
I think
I
once-
actually agree with you on that. Yeah.
I think once you get that position locked, you're done. There is no more.
So then at that point, that is not necessarily protecting the fighter, but protecting the entertainment value.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Is that the
And
difference?
some rules are made for that.
That might be
honestly.
it.
Yeah. I don't know why.
It's a nuanced subject for sure.
I don't know why all of us are hardcore and basically think everything should be legal, but yeah, that's sadly enough. I feel like in this sport, it is what it is.
Yeah.
As long as you're not like
But
dropping someone on their neck.
IBJJF is not entertainment. No one goes there to be
You're right.
entertained.
Oh
right?
God, no,
Like-
absolutely not. When you watch their super shows, you know that, man. Whenever you watch Cyborg and Kanan fight for 15 minutes and want to claw your eyes out with forks.
But like the scissor takedown, that one I can see it being more like I get that one more than some of the other ones, I guess.
But that one's legal.
In some, yeah, in some
Yeah, in
formats it
ADCC,
is.
that's legal because Sun Yun said that's all she'll do whenever she loves that takedown. Ronnie showed it to her, and like she hits
It's
that
great
in
off a
open
single
mats all the time and goes right into the leg lock. She loves it. But yeah, crucifix, I told her, I said, that's done. You can't do it. And she's pretty disheartened by it. Who's number one? That's one of the only rules that she can do it. So
They'll change that crucifix rule here soon.
I hope so, because it's just, to me, it's dumb. And I see so many people using it. Lachlan Giles now is using it a lot. So
What if you don't have the head controlled under it? What if you're doing a
That-
top side
that's-
crucifix?
that's the
like
legal.
where you're across
Yes.
to the straight arm bar.
That is
style.
legal, as long as the neck is not compromised. But then somebody asked, what if they roll forward, which is one way to get out of it?
Mhm.
They said you have to let go of one of their arms.
So what if you only have it with one leg? You don't have both legs attached to the
Completely
arm.
legal.
What if you have the one hook?
Completely legal.
Yeah. So fucking stupid.
Lachlan
Calm down.
Lachlan,
It's so dumb.
you know how Sun Yun locks hers up where she has it more like, was it the power half or whatever? Lachlan Giles has been using it where he 2-on-1s the hand because he says it makes it more legal. Which I've been telling her, well, if you're going to do that, you need to
Isn't
start
that the
exploring
exact same
that.
position as having someone in side control? You've got the head clubbed and you go underneath into the armpit or whatever.
Pretty
You're
well.
cranking their
Pretty
neck
well.
up too. It's the
Yeah.
exact same thing.
Oh no, all these rules are dumb. That's why. That's why I put questions like that all the time because I think it's fascinating.
Yeah, it is. It's bizarre how they come to these conclusions.
Because some of the people that make the rules are probably fucking stupid.
A lot of
Open
times
up
what it
a
is
crystal.
is spilling some coffee on your pants, and then you just got to change the temperature of the coffee, unfortunately.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you on that. Open up your crystal ball. What is the new fad in jiu-jitsu?
Oh, we do this one every so often.
We do. Yeah.
Making shirts that reference being gay in jiu-jitsu.
There we go.
Man, I'm making the best shirt ever soon.
I don't know. If
It seems to be a fad right now.
I think, what was it that I said the other day?
I don't know. I don't remember, but
Wrestling, something about wrestling. Man, it's wrestling and jiu-jitsu, but
You are tasked with creating a new NFL.
I had it the other day. I can't remember it.
This is a complete producer question. You are asked with creating an NFL Hard Knock style docuseries following any fight camp, gym, or single athlete in MMA or Jiu-Jitsu history. Who do you choose and why?
Oof.
Yeah.
We're at an hour and
Yeah.
I know.
4
That's why I'm
minutes.
trying to go.
Don Fry.
God, you kind of need an old school one and then a new school
Oh,
one.
I got a great one.
You got it?
I want to go to Volk's place. They seem
Yeah.
like crazy people.
They've done a few of those kind of though, like
They,
the,
I would
Yeah.
like
They seem
to
on
be
embedded a
embedded.
lot.
I would like to just keep myself down there and just keep watching that shit show.
That's a good one. I think Cowboy would have been a good one just to follow him
he
around.
would be, yeah.
It's like, hey, in the off time, I ride my horse and shoot guns. You know, it's like, okay, that's awesome.
Have you guys seen any of the new stuff on The Ultimate Fighter?
I haven't watched it.
Dude, I haven't watched it either because I'm kind of saving it like a fine wine. Dude, Connor's a joke.
Yeah, horrible coach.
Connor's a joke. Like
He's
there's
0-7, I think.
there's fighters making fun of him on the show that he's a joke.
I mean, you can call him a joke, but
Man,
he's
it's
made it.
dude.
He can
There's
be a joke now if he wants.
Yeah.
Dude, there's fighters that they are actively going at him, being like, "We're not scared of you. We could get in there right now with you, and we'd be fine."
Yeah.
Like I thought that was bizarre, but yeah,
He let it go too.
I think it'd be interesting to hang out with GSP back in the day,
Yeah,
or even now. Or
that's like intellectual
I think
stuff, though.
his camp would
is there
be
a
as
segment later
entertaining.
on where we're going to talk about Elon Musk and
Yes.
I don't want
Yeah,
to.
we're not talking about any of that. We're
Okay.
waiting for that. Yeah.
All right. I figured there would be,
Yeah.
but
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I think we're good.
So Don Fry, old school
I would say Cowboy for me.
cowboy, yeah, and then GSP with pretty good answers. All right. We got some specific questions here. Ronnie.
Yeah.
The Khabib group are a bunch of boogeymen in MMA. In fact, Sun Yoon has drawn a Khabib fighter. I'm very excited for Pants, a Kazakhstani girl
Okay.
from the Kazakhstani national team.
that's cool.
Sun Yoon's going to wrestle fuck her to death. No, I'm joking. She'll sit immediately. Do you think this is sustainable or a trend like well-rounded people in the 2000s and specialists in the 90s and late teens?
We had talked about this before too. They're not evolving, and so therefore they will get caught. And then at a certain point, it'll be done, and then the next niche thing will come in, or the most well-rounded at the time will come back up to the top. If they start changing things a little bit, what they have the most success in is they have power and cardio. That's their two biggest things, and they get that's purely from the area because it's a high altitude training and it's just rough living. So
The
therefore,
culture,
yeah, the culture there, they are mentally tough, physically tough, and they have cardio for days. So that's what you're fighting. So there is technique that can beat that, but man, you have to be able to do that under all this pressure. So once someone figures out how to withstand the pressure or stay away from the pressure long enough, I mean, we saw glimpses of it already when Volk did a very good job against Islam. So I don't think it's here to stay. Maybe they're going to be tough for a long time, but they're not going to be on the top for a long time.
It's not going to be a boogeyman like where this is never going to get figured out.
I just
Right.
don't think it's more about the region or anything like that or this particular place. I just think it's about the people that were there in this particular time. Like
Yeah.
Khabib, his
Agree.
father, and all these people, they banded together and they formed this little group that they all rose to the top together.
It's almost like PSF.
It doesn't mean that like
PSF
now
won't-
everyone from Dagestan is just going to be some dominant champion just
I-
because they're from Dagestan. It's because of the people that were around them that brought them to that level.
Do you know that Pat Riley has a term for this that I talk about a lot with teams? It's called the disease of me. It's like whenever you're a champion, all of a sudden you're like, whoa, whoa, whoa. My job was to play 15 minutes and shoot threes, but if I got 40 minutes, I would just duplicate this over. And what Pat Riley says is, no, that's your role. You should get paid that role that you get and,
Right.
and be happy with that role. And what he says instead, what happens is now the bench player you know, like the Michael Cooper off the bench, is like, no, I can go to the Clippers and I can be as, you know, if they give me 40 minutes, I'll score like Magic Johnson or whatever. And I think in everything in life, there's disease in me.
Yeah.
I
Like,
agree with that.
I want my credit. I want my money. I want this. Brandon, this was the user question for you. What is the biggest challenge to starting a new jiu-jitsu class?
Having confidence in yourself to know that you can show people the right techniques, I think.
Sounds like you live by this example.
It's a struggle every day, I think, but it gets easier the more you do it. You build confidence in yourself. You see that people respond to the things you show them, and they're genuinely excited to see it, that they're taking it in. I don't know, that's helped me.
Beat some big ass Marine up.
Yeah, unfortunately, that did happen.
I had a realization not too long ago. It was probably like 3 months ago, and I was rolling with this physical, military person at Mowequa, and he was just stronger, bigger. He would roll with everyone hard, and I rolled with him, and then I was like, "Oh, you don't know anything. I can do whatever I want." And then I started realizing, like, "Oh, I get what everyone's saying now. Like when you're white, like it doesn't matter if they're stronger or bigger than you. You just can do what you want because they have no clue what you're doing and." Like they don't have, so I would just go to half guard every time, go under his leg and take his back. I did that every single time to him, but it is kind of, it is confidence. I agree with you 100%.
Yeah.
All right, Chad, last question. Oh, this fan, man, he actually knows your game. He said he knows something. He's like actually watched you at a tournament. Chad, I loved watching you at the No-Gi IBJ Jeff a couple years ago. He said he kept on trying to figure out. He said something about a triangle. And, like, you were in a triangle for a long time?
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Brown Belt World? That was no-gi, though.
Which one was it? Like, this guy
You were in
that
a
knew it
triangle
and
recently?
everything. You were in a triangle forever.
Gi Worlds.
Brown Belt Gi Worlds, for sure.
Oh, maybe he messed it up. He thought maybe he put no-gi. But anyways, he put IBJFS a couple years ago. He said you were in a triangle for, like, a really long time, but you eventually got out and submitted a guy.
That was
Has to
Brown
be the
Belt
Gi
Worlds.
Worlds.
Oh, it was Gi Worlds? Okay.
Has to be.
Sorry,
I don't
man.
think
Well,
in No-Gi I was.
Oh, well, he evidently thought it was no-gi. But he said he had a question about that. How good are you at dancing?
3 out of 10.
Is this like your movie script? Starts out one
Wow,
way and then it
that's
just goes
that's
the
exactly
complete
what it is.
other
Yeah.
direction.
Oh, that was good.
There's a huge payoff for that long, long
God, that
joke.
got me. God, that got me.
I was like, well,
Oh.
I started to like this has got to be going this way, and then it just
Wow.
where are we?
So how good are you at dancing?
I mean, I feel like I'm
1
for
out
a
of 10.
white guy, I'm decent.
1 out of 10.
A 6.
Oh, damn. That's pretty high, then.
I got, I have rhythm down fairly well.
There you go.
It took me a long time to get. I had to have one of my black friends show it to me.
Are the breakdance moves gone now that your
they're
back is
they're
shot?
a little stiff. Definitely, Mandy thinks I'm more in a
Oh,
90s
okay.
dance instead of a modern.
Let's just say, hypothetically, we all go to ADCC, because I got some plans for the MMA guys. And we're trying to get a lot of people to go out there, go to ADCC, compete, do whatever. Could we, at one point, go to a 90s club there and see some Chad Hawkins
Absolutely.
Done.
I don't know if you get break dancing as much as
Sold.
like hip hop, but
I will go to the back. I will get a box. I will cut it. Lay that box out there.
decent amount of alcohol will
Hey, don't ruin other segments, because we got other segments, okay? All right, but that's it. That was it. That was the punchline to the joke.
All right, we're out.
I've been waiting the whole time to do that joke.
Say something about a penis of some animal.
cat, penis, chicken, turkey.
Hot dog and bologna.